Good afternoon, children. Today it is my lecture 14 under gravitation chapter. In the previous class we have learned the escape velocity. There we have learned the definition of escape velocity. Also we have learned the mathematical expression for escape velocity. Hope you have understood the derivation. It is very simple. It is for 3 marks, I said. Okay. That expression you have to remember. The same expression will be also used in the further class to relate with other velocity, nothing but orbital velocity. So please be aware of that derivation. Okay. Now today I just explained some points based on escape velocity. So let me tell you the one objective type questions based on that. By looking to the formulas, by knowing some concepts, you can easily tick the answers without consuming more time for it. Okay. Now let me just highlight those points regarding escape velocity. Okay. First let me write the one expression for escape velocity. The one escape velocity expression. So please let me write first point where V is equal to root of 2G capital N divided by R. This is one of the expression of escape velocity where we are writing this and we are using this for all calculations regarding escape velocity for any planet. For calculation we can use this very easily. Okay. You already know capital G. It is gravitational constant. This you already know the one gravitational constant. Where M is said to be mass of the planet. So you can say mass of the planet. If I take the Earth, I can take the mass of the Earth. So whichever the planet you select, this represents mass of the planet. What is capital R? This is a radius of the planet. Radius of the planet. Hope you understood this one. So please be aware. This is the one expression you have to remember. And these are the things to be remembered here. Okay. Now, one more type I can write for this. Already in that previous class I have said the one more point where you know the concept of where G is equal to, that is Gm by R square concept. This concept you know. Relation between small g and capital G from the previous classes. Okay. Now using this I can replace using instead of capital G I may write in terms of small g. At that time I just rewrite the formula where I write E is equal to root of 2Gm by instead of R I write R square, due to which I multiply by R. That will never affect the expression. It will never affect the expression if I write like this. Okay. Now if you write like this itself can be written as small g. So VE is equal to root of 2Gr. Here we know G is said to be acceleration due to gravity. R is said to be radius. So as and when you want to calculate the escape velocity of the Earth, you are ready to take this, the expression, because you know small g, acceleration due to gravity on the surface of the Earth is where it is maximum, which is 9.8 meters per second square. What is R? R is said to be the radius of the Earth. You already know the radius of the Earth, which is 6,400 kilometer. Using these conditions, you can also calculate escape velocity of the Earth. So if you use where G is equal to 9.8 meters per second square and R is equal to 6,400 kilometer, you are ready to convert any one for one condition. Here it is meters per second square. It is 6,400 kilometer. If you want to convert this into meters, you can also write like this, where R is equal to 6,400 into 10 raised to 3 meter. By using this, if you substitute here, then you get the escape velocity for this is for the escape velocity of the earth. For earth I can say, for earth where it is, if you are substituting you get it as, and also substituting, calculating, taking the square roots, finally you get 11.2 kilometers per second. This is what you know already for the escape velocity of the earth. Now I want to write one more formula for the one where this is for the earth I say, right? Now if you want to say for other planets, you can also calculate for other planets. At that time, remember, if you want to calculate for moon, where the G for moon is, where you can remember, for moon, you get escape velocity for moon is 2.37 km per second, which is 5 times smaller, which is 5 times smaller than the one escape velocity of the earth, 5 times smaller than the escape velocity of the earth. Escape velocity of earth. This you have to remember. Of earth. Okay. How did you calculate this? Here we had to take this formula you can take. But remember, this acceleration due to gravity for moon is different. You need not take 9.8. And radius of the moon is different because the one moon is very small compared to the one earth, due to which you can say G is different, R is different. At that time, you know, for the one G of moon, which is, that is 1 by 6 times of G of earth it is. So 1 by 6 times of G of earth means you get nearly it is 1.96 meters per second square. Where you know G of earth is 9.8 meters per second square. If you divide it, you get nearly about it is nothing but 1.96 meters per second square. What is the radius of the moon? The radius of the moon, which is equal to 1.7. This is radius of moon is 1.75 into 10 raised to 6 meter. This is different from the earth, so better remember. This is what you can remember here. Okay. So the escape velocity for moon is 2.37 kilometers per second. Okay. And one more point. If you calculate for the Mercury, it is 4.28 meters per second. For Mercury, it is 4.28 kilometers per second. For Jupiter, you can say it is of nothing but 60 kilometers per second. For the one Sun, it is 618 kilometers per second. For Jupiter, if I say for Jupiter, you can say it is 60 kilometers per second. For Sun, which is 618 kilometers per second, escape velocity is different. For mass, MARS, that is for mass, it is 4. That is nothing but in terms of the 1 kilometers, if you say, it is 4.28 kilometers per second. 4.28 kilometers per second. So you observe here, different planets will have different escape velocity. It will never be same. And remember, this varies from the one planet to planet, depending on the radius of the planet, depending on that. And one more point I want to say here, the Jupiter, it is 60 kilometers per second, where you can say, in the Jupiter, we can say here, it is having the one thick atmosphere. The atmosphere is more, it is thick atmosphere I can say because of this. And for Sun, nearly the lighter elements like hydrogen and helium are more in this, densest in here, due to which it is of 618 kilometers per second. And for the one Moon, remember, Moon does not possess any atmosphere. Moon has no atmosphere, I say. But Earth is having atmosphere. So when Moon is not having atmosphere, reason behind this is, you already know the thermal speeds, the RMS speeds of the one gas molecules are there, and these gas molecules are very less. Even the thermal, that is speeds of the gas molecules, RMS speeds of the gas molecules are also there on the Earth and also there on the one Moon. But there on the Earth, it surface of the earth, due to which the speeds are less compared to the one escape speed, and due to which it is bound to the one surface of the earth. Hence, we have atmosphere on the earth. But if you observe the one moon, this moon itself, the size of the moon is very small as compared to the earth. The mass of the moon is also very small compared to that of the earth. The escape speed is also less for the moon compared to the earth. At the same time, the thermal speeds of the gas molecules, which are nothing but RMS speed of gas molecules, which are very less, and at the same time the speeds are very less as compared to the escape speed, due to which they escape from the one, that is nothing but they escape from the surface, and hence there is no atmosphere in the moon. You can observe the thermal speeds of the gas molecules are nothing but they are very small as compared to the atmospheric gases. As compared to the atmospheric gases, they are very small, due to which they escape easily from the one surface. Hence, they do not possess any atmosphere on the moon. Hence, we have, that is, a moon does not possess any atmosphere, we say. But this is the thickest one where atmosphere is more in Jupiter. But for the earth, it is sufficient for the earth, where the RMS speed of these gas molecules are sufficient to hold it, due to which it is bound to the surface. Hence, we have atmosphere on the earth. So, these things you just remember here. One more point. I said just now the RMS speed of these gas molecules. I said, what is this RMS speed? This you learn under kinetic theory of gases. In that chapter, you come across the VRMS of the gas molecules. We say, for that, let me give the formula for it. What is it? Means the next number for it is, this is the escape velocity here we have. Let me give the next point. So, VRMS is equal to root 3RT by M. What is this called as? Nothing but called as, here 3 is a number where this T is kept to be absolute scale of temperature. It is nothing but R is said to be universal gas constant. M is the molecular weight of these gas molecules. So this is the one VRMS of the gas molecules we calculate using this formula. Okay, this you learn under kinetic theory of gases chapter. You just remember what is this VRMS speed. Because of this only the gas molecules will be moving in the atmosphere. Hence we have the one, depending on the speeds, we will explain the one atmosphere, how atmosphere is present in it. Whether it is the atmosphere is less or more or thick atmosphere. These things we will explain here. Okay. And now one more point I want to say. Using this formula, I will give one more formula using density and the one volume. Right. So for this, if I take the formula where VE is equal to root of 2G instead of M, we already know density is equal to mass by volume. In the previous class we have learnt where capital M is equal to rho into V. But you know where V is nothing but volume of the sphere. V is taken as volume of the sphere, that is 4 by 3 pi r cube. So if I use this condition, G into, instead of this M I write here, instead of M I write rho into V. So this can be written as, this is nothing but divided by R. Okay, this is 2G into, this will be rho into 4 by 3 pi r cube divided by R. This R and R gets cancelled here. So you get VE is equal to, this will be, this is, let me write 2 4s are 8, root of 8, that is G rho pi r square. This is the one formula you have, that is 8G rho pi r square. Right? So now divided by this, what is this? 3 is there, 4 by 3 pi r cube is there. This 3 will come to denominator here. This becomes here 3. Okay, this is how we write for the escape velocity in terms of density and in terms of radius. Okay, and you already know G is a universal gas constant, pi is also a constant. You can write that is 3 3.14 density, by knowing density you substitute it, you get this formula. Okay, now using this we can also write the relations where you are ready to write by using for two different planets. If you have two different escape velocities, at that time I can rewrite this in terms of where you can say for the first planet, if it is VE1, for the second planet it is VE2. Using this condition I can write in two different ways. So different forms I can write. How to write in different forms means, in terms of this if I use here, this G is a constant, that will cancel here. But mass, which is the mass of the planet, radius of the planet, for two different planets, different mass and different radius will be there. And these two are constant. Using this I can write, this is the m is directly proportional here, so I can write m1 divided by, that is for this one, this is m2 I can write, but remember it is under root, but this here, this is r is there, inversely proportional for this. So if you write for these two planets, I can write here r2 by r1 like this. If you rewrite, you can write in terms of escape velocity like this for different things. Okay, by chance, if you use this condition 2gr, where you already know that is g is different for different the one planets, if you take at that time you are ready to write, they are directly proportional to each other. At that time you are ready to write VE1 by VE2 is equal to root of G1 R1 by G2 R, depending on different planet variables. By chance, if you want to write in terms of this, if you are writing in terms of this means, at that time 8 by 3 is a constant, where when you take the one proportionate, that will be having the one constant here, only this G is also will be cancelled here, density left out and radius is there. Both are directly proportional to each other. At that time you are ready to calculate, write like this, VE1 by VE2, which is equal to, in this case, this is rho 1 R1 divided by, that is square, divided by rho 2 R2 square, like this. So different, using densities and using radius if they see the conditions, you are ready to use like that. Only acceleration due to gravity and radius is given, you can use like this. If the mass of the planet, radius of the planet is given, you are using like this. All these are the formulas you can remember whenever you come across some problems based on escape velocity. So when they give, depending on the conditions, you are using suitable formulas. These are the one escape velocity based on this you will explain. Okay. One more point yesterday I highlighted, but I just recall that point. What is that means? Here, in this case, they will ask one question based on the number. It is, let me write 7 point here because here I am writing. Okay. Now remember, in this formula nowhere we will find theta. Here also we will find, nowhere we find theta. They just ask you in one condition, if the one object is projected, that is horizontally by an angle of 45 degree, that is projected, projection they ask in terms of that. Projection means they are throwing by an angle of some projection. At that time, what will be the escape velocity they ask. So different projections they give, maybe different angles. But remember, you have one chapter, motion in 2 dimensions. There you learn the concept like, if you have an angle of 45 degree, the projection or the projection is of angle of 45 degree, the range will be large, we learn. But if you select here, if theta is 45 degree, what will be the escape velocity? They ask you the question. At that time, remember, theta is independent here. Nowhere you find a theta here. So whatever may be the angle, maybe 0, maybe 90, maybe 30, maybe 45, whatever may be the angle, it is irrespective of the angle. Hence, escape velocity is independent of angle of projection. That point you can remember. So escape velocity is independent of angle of projection. Angle of projection. This point you remember. Means even if theta is equal to 45 degree also, not depending on angle, therefore escape velocity is independent of angle of projection. Okay, one more point I want to say. If an object is thrown from the surface, I said yesterday, so that will be having some mass, nothing but represented by small m. But remember, here nowhere in the formula we get a small m. Here also we do not find anywhere small m. This capital M represents mass of the planet. This is radius of the planet. So you are ready to say it does not depend on the mass of the body. Does not depend on the mass of the object. So you are ready to say here escape velocity is independent of the mass of the body, mass of the particle. It does not depend on small m. So again one more point I can say here escape velocity is independent of mass of the particle, mass of the body I can say, mass of the particle, whatever you can say, right? It does not depend on small m. So these are the factors you just remember here. I have given sufficient points here in this case. So at that time, by chance, if the velocity, one more point I can say, if the velocity is less than escape velocity, suppose if you are throwing some object, that velocity is less than escape velocity, then the object will, you can say at that time, the object will reach to a certain height, but it will never move into the any orbit, or it will never escape from it, or it will never come back. It will never come back to the surface of the earth. So at that time you can say one more point where it is the next number, and let me write here. If v is less than ve, nothing but I am throwing the object with this velocity which is less than the escape velocity. So at that time it will never escape from the surface, it will never fall to the surface of the earth, but it will never enter into the any of the, nothing but you can say the body will reach to a certain height, it may neither enter into an orbit nor it will fall back to the surface. That is the one condition you can remember. By chance, if the escape velocity is greater than this, you can say, for example, if v is greater than escape velocity, then that object will escape from the surface. Naturally it will enter, sometimes it will enter into the orbit, at that depending on the conditions. So this is how you have to remember. It will never come back, it will never escape from the surface, but it will never, that is nothing but, this is the condition you can remember. But if you have this, it will, that is nothing but v is greater than escape velocity. It will escape from the surface. Escape velocity already we have. It will, we are throwing with the greater velocity. It escapes, but it will never, that is come back, or it will never enter into the orbit. Depending on that velocity, we can say whether it enters into the orbit or not. But remember, this is the it will never come back to the surface. It will escape from it. This is how we are doing. So these are the conditions. You just remember, these are some formulas you have to remember as and when you come across some problems. Okay, so you may expect maybe 5 mark problems, maybe in any object type you get these things. Okay, hope I think you have followed everything, you have understood all these steps. So let me stop for escape velocity. So this completes the escape velocity. Okay, right. Now let me go for the next very important part in this chapter, which is known as satellite. Okay, let me highlight you what is satellite and how the satellite works. Already you know what is satellite, but even then you have to know many concepts. How does it moves around the any of the objects, right? Let me explain. I can say in another way, lighter body as compared to the Earth. Suppose if you are launching a satellite from the surface of the Earth, so compared to Earth, satellite is having very light mass, light weight I can say, compared to the one Earth. So a lighter body which is revolving around the heavier body is called satellite, you can say. Or you can say smaller body which is revolving around the larger body is said to be called as satellite. So you are ready to say using lighter body or maybe the one smaller body. Okay, right. Now already you know our Earth is there. On that Earth we are launching a satellite, means this is having a very small lightweight, you can say, as compared to the Earth, huge Earth, that is lightweight. So a lighter body is revolving around the Earth. Nothing but Earth is said to be a heavier body. So a lighter body which is revolving around the larger body is called as satellite. For this I can give some examples. You already familiar. Electrons are revolving around the proton. This you already know the things. These concepts you can observe in different ways. So electrons are revolving around the one proton, like this you know. But in astronomy you come across the one satellites will be revolving around any planet. So the satellites will be revolving around any planet. This you come across in the one astronomical bodies. Or you can say a satellite is revolving around the Earth. Okay, right. Now to explain this, I just explain this is the Earth. First let me tell you what is satellite, and then we come across different types of the one. So you might be knowing here, in nature that is nothing but the satellites are of two types. So we name them as, one is natural satellite, another is artificial satellite. So two types of satellites are there. One is natural satellite, another is artificial satellites. Artificial satellites. What do you mean by natural satellite? Means the satellite which occurs in nature itself. That itself will occur in the nature. Those type of satellites are called natural satellites. For this I can give a best example where the Earth is for the Earth, Moon is the natural satellite of Earth, I can say. For natural satellite is, I can give best example, Moon, which is the Moon is the natural satellite of Earth. Okay, so our Earth is a huge body, Moon is a very smaller body, Moon is revolving around the Earth. So that is a naturally occurring satellite it is, due to which we say Moon is the natural satellite of the Earth. Right? What do you mean by artificial satellites? So here, this you can observe, artificial satellites means man-made satellites. So man will prepare for different conditions, for different requirements, he will prepare the satellites, and the man-made satellites are nothing but they are called as artificial satellites. Man-made satellites are called artificial satellites. Right? So here I can give best example for the Earth, where you are come across one, that is artificial satellite of the Earth is INSAT 1B. INSAT 1B. This is the one artificial satellite of the Earth. That is the one in INSAT 1B is the artificial satellite of the Earth. That is a good example you can give for the Earth. Natural satellite you can give, that is Moon. But in early days, that is in the year 1975, you can observe the one they have launched one satellite. Before that, we have one more called as the one Russians have launched the one satellite, that is called as Sputnik 1. Sputnik 1. In 1957, they have launched this artificial satellites. So Russians have launched this, but there was a competition between Russians and Americans. Depending on that, they have also already prepared different types of the one satellites, that is artificial satellites. due to which they have launched these satellites in different that is nothing but ways. Okay. One more you can come across. During 1975, we have 1975 one artificial satellite by name Aryabhatta. We have launched the one satellite Aryabhatta. So during 1975, a man-made satellite which was launched during 1975, right? And this was the one Sputnik which was launched by the one Russians in the early 1957. Okay. And also you can observe one more which is the one called as the satellite, using the one you can say during the early 1969, the one you can observe the first man who launched, that is who has already gone to the one, the nothing but called as you can say man-made satellite we have launched in the early 1969 we can say. Therefore you can say the artificial satellites were man-made objects which are launched during these years. This is how you can observe, right? So what now you come across, I think now you are familiar about what are satellites, right? Now let me say the one satellite. So you can say of the one lighter body which revolves around the larger body, and you can say smaller body, lighter or smaller body revolves around larger body is called satellite. Okay, right. Now we have come across what is satellite and what are types of satellites. In that we come across natural satellite and one more artificial satellite. For your reference, I said a man-made satellite which is called as the one called as artificial satellites. The satellites which occur in nature is said to be called natural satellites. We can give best example. Moon is the natural satellite of the one Earth. Similarly, artificial satellites of the Earth is insert one beam. Okay. Remember, also I said the Russians have launched the ones Sputnik 1 in the early 1957. One more we have launched the one under 1975 the one satellite called as Aryabhatta. Okay. So this is how you just remember, it is enough. Now let me go for the main concept of satellite. How this satellite works. How this satellite you can explain. Okay. Very simple point. Let me take the one Earth. When you take this Earth, let me write here. This is the one Earth we have. This Earth is having mass m. Let me say from center to this is common as radius, right? And we are launching the satellite from the surface of the Earth, right? So when you are launching the satellite from the surface of the Earth means very small body I said. Let me say this is small m. This is the one small m. This is capital M, right? Now we are launching from here, maybe close to the surface of the Earth, maybe some height. Let me explain again one by one. But now let me say we are launching from the surface. So what happens here? As in when you are the one making this object to move in a motion, whenever it acquires motion, it always moves in a straight line. Nothing but it acquires linear motion. This object will acquire linear motion. So when I say linear motion means it is nothing but straight line. So when you explain the object is in motion means in nature you always observe whenever the object is in motion means it moves in a straight line. But now if this object moves in a straight line, okay. Now one more point I want to say, as and when it moves in a straight line, here I said this is the Earth. Now this is inside the field, already it is inside the field it is. So what happens here? Naturally there is a force of attraction between this object and this. Naturally there rises a force of attraction between them, and therefore it is having the object which is moving in this motion. How does this object moves, it may have different conditions. Remember, maybe this object moves in a circular motion, maybe this object moves in an elliptical orbit, maybe slightly elliptical. But for your convenience, now I will take the help of the object moves in a circular motion. Okay. Now whenever this object moves in a circular motion and I make this object to move now, therefore nothing but the object acquires a motion, it moves straight line. Since the object moves in a circular motion, we have one concept, it always exhibits centripetal force. What do you mean by centripetal force? Means the object which is always seeking to the center of the earth. Object seeking to the center of the earth. So what makes this object to seek to the center? That nothing but centripetal force. So due to which this object whenever it is in motion, this one, the object which is seeking, the having force, will possess the one it seeks to the center of the earth. Due to which it pulls the object from towards that side. It pulls. As and when it pulls, it is moving like this, but this will move like this. Means it cannot move straight. It will be pulled by the center of this earth, due to which it will take this motion like this. Okay? Right. Now, if I just explain nothing but slightly I will make that object to move like this, means naturally this will move like this straight, but this will be pulling towards center. Because of the one centripetal force, the object is pulled towards the center. Hence, it cannot move straight. It will be moving towards the one center, but it is not reaching the center, but it is moving towards the center. So, it was earlier moving straight. Because of this gravitational pull, this object moves like this. It will attain the one position like this, because it will be attracting towards the center. But since the gravitational pull is not sufficient to make it to come to the center, it is not having such force, due to which it is not reaching the center. But since the object is moving with some velocity, it is also moving like this. It is moving like this. By chance, if I make the object to move like this, again it moves like this. It will never come to the surface. It will never go into this circular motion. It is moving. Because of high velocity, it moves like this. Because of this one gravitational pull, it is seeking towards the center. So here, what is acting on this? On this object, the one centripetal force is acting. What is that centripetal force? That centripetal force is given by m v square by r. Here I have written this symbol, that is r. Right? mv square by r. What is this v? V is said to be the velocity of the given object, and this r is said to be the one radius. But remember here, I say this object is moving toward, that is on the circular motion, and since it cannot come to the surface center because the gravitational pull is not sufficient to make that object to come towards downwards. At the same time, this velocity is not sufficient to make that object to go away from it. So here, remember, F is directly proportional to V here. So force is acting on this object and F is directly proportional to V. So as force increases, it would have made that object to pull downwards at the center of the earth. Means it is seeking towards the center. If the velocity is large, then naturally this will move away from it. This will move away. But remember, at the same time, you also have, there is a gravitational force of attraction between them, I said. According to Newton's law of gravitation, we have one more force between them, that is nothing but gravitational pull of the earth. What is this? F is equal to, that is capital G, capital M, small m, divided by r square. This is one formula we have, right? Regarding the gravitational force of attraction between them. This is what? Due to centripetal force. So, we call this is centripetal force. The object which is seeking towards the center. So, please observe, as and when it is moving straight, this will be seeking, always pulling the object towards, it is always clicking the object to come towards the center. It is pulling from this side, due to which it cannot move straight, it will acquire this motion. Still, if the velocity is increased, it is moving here, but even then it is pulling here, so it is turning towards the surface. Nothing but tangent to the circular motion, right? So, here F is proportional to V, means as F increases, it would have reached the one center. But here the F is not sufficient to make the object to come towards the center. Similarly, velocity, if the velocity is large, then it would have moved away from this, but that is also not so. Here means both have been balanced. What is balanced? That is nothing but force and velocity both have been balanced, due to which the object is moving around like this in a circular motion. By chance if V is more, it would have escaped from this and it would have moved away from it. But if force is large, it would have made the object to come up to center. But that is not happening here. What is happening here? This force and center, that is the one, both velocity, both are acting each other on it, due to which they are balanced condition. Hence, it makes the object to move in a circular motion, due to which the object moves in a circular motion. So this is how you have to remember. So if one case is more, another case is more, that would have done very different concept. But since both have been balanced, due to which it is always moving in a circular motion. Since it is moving in a circular motion means the object is having some velocity, and that object we call it as orbital velocity. We call that as, or it is moving around the orbit itself. Hence we call it as orbital velocity. So for your convenience, alright, this is mv0 square divided by r. Okay, where you can say radius of the one circular motion, right? Now, here we have, this is equation 1, this is equation 2. So, two forces are having different conditions here, and but both are same now. This is from equating 1 and 2. Equating equation 1 and 2, we get, what happens? Here I rewrite mv0 square by r is equal to capital G capital M by r square. Since this r and r get 1r and 1r gets cancelled, this small m gets cancelled, so you get v0 square is equal to capital G capital M divided by r. But if you write v0, then I write root of gm by r. Okay, this is one expression we have here. You also know the condition where small g is equal to gm by r square. Here we have gm here, so for your convenience, I write gr square is equal to gm, due to which if I substitute, you get, that is v0, this can also be written as, or you can also write v0 is equal to root of, instead of gm, I write g r square by, this is nothing but r. This will be nothing but called as, it is called as, you can say, this r and r cancels, v0 is equal to root g r. So this is one more formula. Alright. Now I made the object from the surface, which is very close to the surface of the atom. You may feel slightly close means how much, madam? What will be the height? For example, if it is exactly nearer to the surface means maybe nearly 100 km to the surface. The satellite is launched 100 km to the surface means at that time it is very close. You already know the radius is nothing but 6400 km, and due to which 100 is very less, due to which it is close to the surface of the earth. For example, if I make the object to move at some height, let me say at some height, this is h, this is nothing but r, from here center, from here to it is r. At that time, our expression becomes, you can say, wherever you have, this is nothing but, here this r will become r plus h, at that time I take r plus h, here this becomes r plus h whole square, then your expression becomes 1r plus h, here this becomes r plus h. At that time, here you can say, this is nothing but r plus h like this. But I say the condition, if h is very close to the surface, if h is close, h is much smaller than r, if it is 100 km, 200 km, then this h is neglected. H is neglected. H is neglected. immediately. By chance, if h is greater than, much greater than r, but remember at that time it is far away from the surface. At that time you have to take into condition h itself. At that time we have to take condition h. Therefore we write wherever you come across it. If it is very large height means we take this condition. If it is very close, at that time I write the expression V naught is equal to root of, that is Gm by r. One condition, one more condition, if it is, that is root of Gr. If it is very close, nothing but h is much smaller than this r, close to the surface, I can say very close to the surface. Close to the surface, you can take this condition. If it is very far away, it is much higher than the surface. At that time, you have to take the condition. This object will be moving in a circular motion. Complete distance we have to take from here to here. At that time, we take it is r plus h. At that time, we take this is r plus h. Right? Like that we take and we just get the answer like this. I think you have followed. Right. But one more point I want to say. As and when it is close to the surface, naturally gravitational pull will be more. Gravitational pull will be more, due to which, so when gravitational pull is more means it should possess higher velocity. That satellite should move with very high velocity, because if it is very close to the surface, naturally when it is very close to the surface, it has to move, that is very high velocity. How did you say this condition? Very simple point. F is proportional to V here. Right? If it is very close to the surface, naturally force of, that is centripetal force will be acting on this, due to which it will be pulling towards the center, and that object should escape from the surface. When it wants to escape from the surface, it has to move with high velocity, with high speed, I can say. Right? One more point. If it is away from the surface, it is far away from the surface at some height. At that time, here, nothing but it is far away from this means naturally the gravitational pull will become very less. Because as it is away from this, it crosses the gravitational field, due to which nothing but you can say the one gravitational pull become very less. When gravitational pull becomes very less means naturally the speed decreases. At that time our satellite will move with very slow velocity, with less velocity I can say. Our satellite moves very slowly around the one Earth. It moves very slowly. When the satellite is close to the surface, naturally it has to escape from the surface, because it has to escape from the gravitational pull of the Earth. Hence, it has to move with very high velocity. That is what you have to remember. So, please remember the orbital velocity will be more when it is close to the surface. So, the orbital velocity will be less when it is far away from the surface. Because as the h increases, naturally this orbital velocity will be nothing but the velocity will become very less, and it will move very slowly around the Earth. Okay. Now, if you use this condition, now what will be the orbital velocity of the one Earth? At that time, you can say, you know already the one orbital velocity of the Earth means, if I take this formula G. G is 9.8 meters per second square. What is R? Radius of the Earth. And using this, you get the one escape velocity for this is from the surface. It is nothing but when you calculate here, you get that is equal to 7.92 kilometers per second. This is how you get the calculation. After calculations, you get it. But approximately we say it is having 8 kilometers per second. We explained in terms of the orbital velocity which is close to the surface of the Earth means it is 8 kilometers per second. Okay, so the one velocity will be like this. This is how, and depending on the height, we have to calculate for different the heights with respect to the velocity. Right? So just remember, today we have learned the one satellite. This satellite explains in this case regarding orbital velocity. So this is the one calculation for this is orbital velocity. This is represented by symbol V0. At that time we take the condition, first condition, this is centripetal force, due to which it will be moving like this, and the one because of the gravitational pull we also have force of attraction between them, we have another condition. And since I said what is the case for this, by chance if the velocity is, if the object is moving straight means because of this gravitational pull it is always sticking towards the center, hence it will be moving like this. It will never move straight, it will move in this tangent to the surface. By chance, if the velocity is large means it would have escaped. That is not happening here because it is moving in this way, it would have escaped from the surface. But since both are balanced together, hence it will be moving in a circular motion. Hence the one satellite will be moving around the Earth in an orbit, and that is called as orbital velocity. Hope you understood this regarding two conditions I said, regarding some height and also for the close to the surface. We have this well. Okay. So remaining things we will learn in the next class. Here one more point we had to come across. We had to also calculate what is the time required to complete this one web rotation. For this we will calculate. Similarly, we also calculate at what height the satellite will be launched, and that will be suitable for the one satellite to launch around the Earth. These two calculations are there that I will explain in the next class. Hope you understood all these things. Let me stop.